So I'm here with a Saturday edition for the Twitter and YouTube users of Shantae's Analysis. So if you don't follow me, you can follow me on Twitter at I am Shanteezy or on Instagram, or you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hey, Queen Lion, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, and or you can follow me on Periscope. Well, the Twitter links to the Periscope. So, I mean, that's where we are. So I'm just going to read some numbers of COVID. I'm only going to do the United States. Well, actually, I'm going to do the world number first, and then I am going to focus on the states. So here we are. So globally, according to the Johns Hopkins website, we are at 32 million cases around the world, 32,747,374. So again, that's 32,747,374 cases of COVID-19. That's in 188 countries. The global death toll is damn near 1 million. We might reach 1 million, if not tomorrow, then Monday. But we're there. 992,984 around the world in 188 countries. And the United States makes up a quarter of the death toll, or like a ninth or eighth of the death toll. Oh, wait, a quarter, 20% of the death toll, excuse me. My percentage was a little off. Here at home, we have reached 7,000 cases already. So we're at 77,485. So the U.S. confirmed cases, The U.S. confirmed cases is at 7,077. No, excuse me. The U.S. confirmed cases, I read that number wrong. 7,077,485. So that's 7 million. We're almost at 7.1. We're damn near there. So that's 7,077,485. The death toll is at 204,485. Yeah. That's Johns Hopkins. The website is coronavirus. I'm going to put it coronavirus.jhu.edu. You can look at it yourself. You don't need the news to look at the numbers for COVID-19. You can find them your damn self. It's just simple. All right. Now I'm going to get into the New York Times COVID map for the states, because the Johns Hopkins website goes by counties in terms of the U.S. and not by the state, just by the counties in the state. And sometimes it's hard to calculate those numbers, especially if you're not a math head. I'm a math head, but I just don't feel like adding up numbers all goddamn day long. That's too much for my head. So, according to the New York Times COVID map for the states with the most cases, no problem, anytime. So California is leading with the most cases. They are at 809,142. Texas is at 764,642. Florida is at 698,674. They're about to reach 7,000. New York is at 459,472. And just keep in mind, as of today, New York had 1,000 new cases today. And we've been under like 500-600 consistently. But the fact that we reach 1,000 has something to do with the people in the upstate area. Because I live in New York City. And I know there's been a cluster in Brooklyn and slightly in Queens because of the Rosh Hashanah celebration. And I'm like, dude, it's the coronavirus. We're still in the midst of the coronavirus. We're about to reach wave 2 pretty soon. It's going to come. Georgia, 297,553. Illinois, 289,683. Arizona 216,826. North Carolina 206,241. New Jersey 204,641. And Tennessee rounds up the top 10 with 188,205. So North Carolina, I just realized that, surpassed New Jersey. I called it. I said it. It was going to happen. And the situation is not going to get any better. Of course, we have no national plan to combat COVID. We did not shut down cohesively as a full country, while other countries have shut down their entire country, but the United States of America. Because these Republicans want to operate by state laws. I understand, but it's just like, I'm going to get into him in a minute. But the simple fact is, Donald Trump doesn't know what he's doing. I always knew he knew what he was doing. He didn't even know what he was doing with his own businesses up here in New York. So, like, it doesn't come as a shock. But the fact is that over 200,000 people are dead from this virus within 6 months is freaking insane. We surpassed the death tolls of the European countries. We were at where Italy and Spain was with the virus right now. Even though Spain's numbers are moving up because I guess they fully were open and now they might have to close back down. And the U.S. is going to be next to close back down. And I have a feeling my governor is going to close down first because he's been working very hard, tirelessly, combating COVID. Poor Andrew Cuomo. But he's been trying to do stuff down here in our state, even though he's the governor of New York State, but he's dealing with the shit even in New York. And I'm like, New York City, because New York City is his home. And so he feels compelled to do that. And I understand. Well, he's managing COVID, and kudos to him. As for the governor of Florida, the contrash, Ron DeSantis' incompetent ass, is going to go into phase 3 when his state almost has 700,000 COVID cases and you're going into phase 3. What kind of dumb shit is that? States like Florida and Texas and even California should be closed the hell down. I don't even know why they're still open. They have more cases. They surpass New York. All 3 of those states surpass New York. That is insane. And our strand came from Europe because we had Europeans in our city, because we're the first city in the U.S. when people from Europe, they fly, we're the state that they land in because we're the East Coast. They need to shut the shit down. I don't get it. Like, I'm still trying to grasp the understanding why the hell these states are still open. I don't get it. I quite don't understand it. But who am I? Now, I'm going to get into something else. Amy Coney Barrett was nominated, the official nomination. Donald Trump made the official nomination today. I'll play some of the clip. I'm not going to play it in full length, but I'm going to find the clip where he confirms her to the Supreme Court. So here we are.
To those naturally called to care.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States and Mrs. Trump, accompanied by Judge Amy Coney Barrett and family.
I don't understand it. Why? Yeah, I heard North Dakota's having a spike. Let's just say this. President Obama did not have this kind of thing, nor Bill Clinton, and not even George Bush. So that's bullshit. And all these people are not socially distant.
Thank you. Of a Supreme Court Justice. This is my third such nomination after Justice Gorsuch and Justice Kavanaugh, and it is a very proud moment indeed. Over the past week, our nation has
No, not even wearing the mask.
A true American legend. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg was a legal giant and a pioneer for women. Her extraordinary life and legacy will inspire Americans for generations to come. Now we gather in the Rose Garden to continue our never-ending task of ensuring equal justice and preserving the impartial rule of law. Today it is my honor to nominate one of our nation's most brilliant and gifted legal minds to the Supreme Court. She is a woman of unparalleled achievement, towering intellect, sterling credentials, and unyielding loyalty to the Constitution, Judge Amy Coney Barrett.
Oh.
Served as the executive editor of the Law Review, graduated first in her class, and received the Law School's award for the best record of scholarship and achievement. Upon graduation, she became a clerk for Judge.
Okay, now I have to play What the Hell She Said, because I can't take to listen to that man not even 2 seconds.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I am deeply honored by the confidence that you have placed in me. And I am so grateful to you and the First Lady, to the Vice President and the Second Lady, and to so many others here for your kindness on this rather overwhelming occasion. I fully understand that this is a momentous decision for a president. And if the Senate does me the honor of confirming me, I pledge to discharge the responsibilities of this job to the very best of my ability. I love the United States, and I love the United States Constitution. I am truly humbled by the prospect of serving on the Supreme Court. Should I be confirmed, I will be mindful of who came before me. The flag of the United States is still flying at half-staff in memory of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg to mark the end of a great American life. Justice Ginsburg began her career at a time when women were not welcome in the legal profession. But she not only broke glass ceilings, she smashed them. For that, she has won the admiration of women across the country and indeed all over the world.
So let me just stop that right there before I continue on. Oh, yeah, they denied President Obama his third Supreme Court justice. They didn't want the black guy to confirm 3 people. So they let the trashiest white man from Queens, and I say that as a New Yorker because he is a trash box from Queens. But the fact is that she mentioned RBG's name. Well, I'm going to deconstruct that, but I'm going to play some more.
She was a woman of enormous talent and consequence, and her life of public service serves as an example to us all. Particularly poignant to me was her long and deep friendship with Justice Antonin Scalia, my own mentor. Justices Scalia and Ginsburg disagreed fiercely in print without rancor in person. Their ability to maintain a warm and rich friendship despite their differences even inspired an opera. These two great Americans demonstrated that arguments, even about matters of great consequence, need not destroy affection. In both my personal and professional relationships, I strive to meet that standard. I was lucky enough to clerk for Justice Scalia, and given his incalculable influence on my life, I am very moved to have members of the Scalia family here today, including his dear wife, Maureen. I clerked for Justice Scalia more than 20 years ago, but the lessons I learned still resonate. His judicial philosophy is mine too. A judge must apply the law as written. Judges are not policymakers, and they must be resolute in setting aside any policy views they might hold. The president has asked me to become the 9th justice.
So, they're not policymakers? I'm going to play that clip that she said back in 2016 about partisanship in that same little clip. I'll play that, but let me continue on.
And as it happens, I'm used to being in a group of 9, my family. Our family includes me, my husband Jesse, Emma, Vivian, Tess, Judd Peter, Liam, Juliet, and Benjamin. Vivian and John Peter, as the president said, were born in Haiti, and they came to us 5 years apart when they were very young. And the most revealing fact about Benjamin, our youngest, is that his brothers and sisters unreservedly identify him as their favorite sibling. Our children obviously make our life very full. While I am a judge, I'm better known back home as a room parent, carpool driver, and birthday party planner. When schools went remote last spring, I tried on another hat. Jesse and I became co-principals of the Barrett e-Learning Academy. And yes, the list of enrolled students was a very long one. Our children are my greatest joy, even though they deprive me of any reasonable free time. He has a busy law practice. I am particularly grateful to my parents, Mike and Linda Coney, Fort. And that institution belongs to all of us. If confirmed, I would not assume that role for the sake of those in my own circle, and certainly not for my own sake. I would assume this role to serve you. I would discharge the judicial oath, which requires me to administer justice without respect to persons, do equal right to the poor and rich, and faithfully and impartially discharge my duties under the United States Constitution. I have no illusions that the road ahead of me will be easy, either for the short term or the long haul. I never imagined that I would find myself in this position. But now that I am, I assure you that I will meet the challenge with both humility and courage. Members of the United States Senate, I look forward to working with you during the confirmation process, and I will do my very best to demonstrate that I am worthy of your support.
Okay, so just to unpack of what she said. So she mentions about RBG saying she broke the glasses and she smashed it. Amy Coney Barrett is the complete opposite of what Ruth Bader Ginsburg was. The complete opposite of who she was and what she was. For those who don't know who Amy Coney Barrett is, I suggest you do your research, but since some of you guys are watching, I'm just going to tell you who this woman is. So she is a professor, but she sits on the United States Court of Appeals, 7th Circuit. So just her views, once again, you can look this up. She describes herself as an originalist. So an originalist, pretty much towards the Constitution, is a concept regarding the interpretation of the Constitution that asserts that all statements in the Constitution must be interpreted based on the original understanding of the authors of the people at the time it was ratified. So she basically don't give a fuck about black lives, even though she got one black child. But you can still be a racist motherfucker. Originalist includes Anton Scalia, who is the most staunchest conservative man. Part of the reason why the Voting Rights Act is not active right now. And a lot of voting suppression tactics are towards black and brown people. That includes people like me. Even though I vote every election because I was told to by my mama. And even though when you vote, things change. But there are people that have registered to vote, especially in Georgia. And Brian Kemp has withheld 70,000 African American registration applications because he's just a dickhead. A racist dickhead. But just to read a little bit more, she's a constitutional scholar with expertise in statutory interpretation. She's among the favorites, according to Reuters, she's among the favorites to conservatives, religious conservatives, regarding Reuters. So that. She also supports expansion of gun rights and voted in favor of Trump's administration's anti-immigration policies. Yeah. So you're saying that the law is going to apply to everybody? Don't think so. It's not going to apply to. You don't care about my life. So why should I care about you? So just hold on for a second, people. Apply to everybody? Don't think so. It's not going to apply to. You don't care about my life. So why should I care about you? So I just had to block somebody real quick, like regular shit that I had to do. So yeah. But back to Miss Coney Barrett. She clerked for Anton Scalia. She was a spoken and written of her admiration of his close attention to the texts of statutes and praised his adherence to originalism. She also said something about the Roe versus Wade case, the decision, and she said something about it being a fiat. Something about being a fiat. I'm trying to look for the yeah. She's really not for Brown versus Board of Ed. So that's bad on its own. Let's see. Oh, there is the quote. In a Notre Dame magazine, she paraphrased the decision of Roe versus Wade in its 40th anniversary celebration. She said this. As creating through judicial fiat a framework of abortion on demand. I don't know what the fuck that means, but it seems like she said people just basically just going and getting abortions. Like it's in demand. Like, bitch, nobody is not going and getting abortions on the regular. If anybody gets more abortions, it's white women. According to the Gut Marchers Institute, which is based downtown in New York City, like not too far from where I live. She also said the fundamental element that the woman has a right to choose will probably stand. The controversy right now is about funding. It is also questions of whether abortions will be publicity or publicly or privately funded. NPR reported that those statements were made before Trump's election and his appointments of Neil Gorsuch and Brett Kavanaugh. Also, Barrett was very critical of Chief Justice Roberts' opinion in a 5-4 decision that upheld the constitutionality of the central provision in the Affordable Care Act and the National Federation of Independent Businesses versus Sebelius. Catherine Sebelius is the person who was behind the ACA. She's the doctor behind it. Roberts' opinion defended the constitutionality of the Obamacare's individual mandate by characterizing it as a tax. Barrett disapproved of this approach and saying Chief Justice Roberts pushed the Affordable Care Act beyond its plausible meaning to save the statute. She criticized the Obama administration for providing employees of religious institutions the option of obtaining birth control without having the religious institutions pay for it. Basically, there was a whole case that religious institutions had to, supply the birth control as part of the original mandate. So they had to cover that cost, and they didn't want to because I guess of their background, the religious background. But women in religion do have sex, and they have non-consensual sex with multiple people. So this nomination is the reason why everybody's alarmed, because if you read this stuff, she's against everything that RGB stood for. The best thing was to follow the Mitch McConnell thing and say how nominated a Supreme Court justice during a presidential election year was not great. But then again, it's like, y'all going back on your word. And she said the same thing back in 2016. Let's find that clip. Because there's people want to, criticize and shit, Still don't forget. I don't forget. Not at all.
Arguments will be that situation was distinguishable. The nomination, the vacancy did not arise in the presidential election year. It arose the year before in June when Justice Powell retired, and Justice Kennedy was nominated in November of the prior year. Moreover, he was nominated after Bork's nomination had failed and Ginsburg withdrew his nomination. So the wrangling for the spot, the conversation about the spot, the existence of the spot, had been in play for a long time before that. Moreover, Kennedy is a moderate Republican, and he replaced a moderate Republican, Powell. We're talking about Justice Scalia, the staunchest conservative on the court, and we're talking about him being replaced by someone who could dramatically flip the balance of power in the court. It's not allowed.
So she's talking about herself, right? Yeah. I said goodbye Roe versus Wade, the Affordable Care Act. Forget about the Voting Rights Act. So in that clip, she talked about herself. She OD talked about herself as being one of the most staunchest conservatives, being a person that's going to be a game changer, because she's changing the game. So she's saying, but now I'm honored. So let's play that clip and say, now I'm honored. Now she's honored. Look.
At American Public University, we believe that higher education can unlock higher purpose. So we ought...
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I am deeply honored by the confidence that you have placed in me. And I am so grateful to you and the First Lady, to the Vice President and the Second Lady.
She deeply honored. She deeply honored. Get the whole entire fuck out of here, bitch. After that bullshit you were saying 4 years ago, now you're deeply honored to replace the most progressive jurist who dissented, who was the biggest feminist, who was assembled to all women. And then you have people like Meghan McCain. I'm going to read the tweets. You got to pull the receipt on these motherfuckers. Because when motherfuckers start tripping, you got to pull receipts on them. Pregnant or not. I said to myself I was going to drag pregnant people. But they seem like they want it. So I'm going to give it to them. Where is it? Meghan McCain. Oh, Meghan. Yeah, the racist was, oh my God. And no mask, it was not socially distant. Oh my God. That shit bugged me out. So here we go. Here goes Meghan. Meghan McCain on The View. You know, she's John McCain's daughter, you know. And she's a political analyst on ABC, you know. President Bush, I'm assuming that's Daddy Bush, politicized adoption, and my little sister and my family and America never forgot. I never forgave. That's why she got so much smoke for the Bushes. That's why Junior Bush took a very long time to endorse John McCain for the Republican Party presidential nominee back in 2008 because of this shit. Now I know why. It is historically noted as a dark mark on American political history. Do not do to Amy Coney Barrett's family what was done to mine, Democrats. It won't end well. Megan, nobody ain't thinking about you. Stop comparing people to you. Stop, girl. This is about, and Amy Coney Barrett, nobody's not talking about her family. People are talking about her views. There is documented history about her views on what the fuck she said about nominating somebody to the Supreme Court in the presidential election year. There is documented views about what she said about abortion, LGBTQ rights, the Affordable Care Act. It's a lot of shit that she said. It is recorded. It is documented. Nobody's not talking about her motherfucking family. That's the last thing people want to talk about. People don't care about that shit. People don't care that she had 5 kids and adopted 2. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck about her husband. And it's sad. And I'm not saying this to be mean, but nobody's not caring about that. We caring about her views. How she's going to rule cases based on her views and her religion. And that even gives Democrats Dianne Feinstein, the ranking Democrat on the Senate Judiciary Committee, that alarms her. And trust me, the Senate Judiciary Committee is going to have a field day with her. If Kamala Harris come back to work on just particularly on that confirmation hearing, she's going to be in trouble. She's going to be twerking and shaking that ass, and not like literally twerking and shaking, but she's going to squander a lot of questions and make up bullshit in her head, knowing good and damn well they're going to press that ass because of her documented history on how she ruled cases and how she supports Donald Trump's anti-immigration law. It's out there. Apple research is there. It's there for you. You can look it up your goddamn self. It's fucking there. It's over for her. She might just get confirmed by the thin layer, by a very thin layer. But it's on. If Kamala Harris shows up and takes a break from campaigning that one day of that fucking confirmation hearing, it is on and popping. It's not going to be a good day for her. She's going to wind up crying. They're like, you didn't attack me. Yeah. Because they're going to come for that ass. One of the commentators today on MSNBC saying, Democrats need to protest that hearing. No, they don't. They need to read up the history. They need to play clips. They need to have a full fucking presentation, a PowerPoint, a poster board like the Republicans be having when they talk about dumb shit that makes no sense to the issue. They need to have those kind of things, those visual boards, and like say, yo, so Amy, why did you say that about this? And question her about Brown versus Board of Ed, because she has an issue with that shit too. And trust me, it will be a part dux of her confirmation hearing. But as for Meghan McCain, nobody's not thinking about you. Nobody cares. And if you come on The View saying dumb shit like that, Sunny is going to spin in her chair. It's going to be even 10 times worse. You will get the Kimberly K treatment. That's all I'm saying. Another dumbass conservative saying some dumb shit. Sarah Huckabee Sanders. And yes, I'm putting the Huckabee in it. The Kimberly K treatment. That's all I'm saying. Another dumbass conservative saying some dumb shit. Sarah Huckabee Sanders. And yes, I'm putting the Huckabee in it. Telling you, I am not amplifying no trolls today. I'm not the one. So when you come with that Trump 2020, you get blocked. Looking for Sarah Huckabee Sanders tweet. Trying to look for it because I tweeted a lot today. I had so much shit on my mind. Ooh. You had no idea. Yeah, they are going to learn today. I'm not playing no games. I am not the one you want to fuck with. Because it could get real ratchet. Here goes Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Former press secretary. If liberals actually cared about empowering women, they'd be applauding Judge Amy Coney Barrett, a working mom with inseparable legal credentials, not degenerating her with bigoted attacks on her Christian faith. First of all, as I said about Meghan, nobody cares about her religious background. Joe Biden is a devoted Catholic, a devoted Roman Catholic at that. What we care about, liberals, because there's liberals, moderates on the Democrat side and progressives. So that I had to correct that. So what we care about, we as Democrats care about, is how she's going to rule cases without using her beliefs. That's what we care about. Being independent without being partisan and applying her religious views. We don't care about her religion. We're not discriminating against her religion. RBG was Jewish. For crying out loud. What we care about is how she's going to rule her rulings. If it's like an abortion case, how she's going to rule. If it's an LGBTQ case, how she's going to rule. If it's about Black lives, how she's going to rule. Obviously, she got issues with all American creeds but her own. But you adopted a Black child. Like I said, just because you adopt a Black child don't mean that your ass still racist. That you still got it in your system and in your chest and in your heart. That's all I'm saying. So for people like Megan and Sarah, I wish you guys would just shut the fuck up. But as for more chaos agents, because that's hashtag, we got crystal balls of the world. Who is the ultimate chaos agent on here today? Couple of chaos agents. But I'm just, you know what? I'm not going to focus on Crystal Ball because she's a non-factor. Who I am going to focus on is Black Trumpers who are chaos agents and who are deplorable. They're called Black generals. Some people call them Black deputies. I like Black generals. I came up with that today. Black generals is better. So this Black general, who's a COVID denier, her name is Melissa Tate, tweeted this last night, late last night. Remember when Kamala Harris bragged about smoking weed and listening to Tupac in college? First of all, it's not number Tupac, it's T-U-Pac. But she spent her career putting Black men behind bars and extending their sentences for doing the same thing. Turns out Tupac, she wrote it correctly. Tupac had not released an album when Kamala Harris was in college. Like, it was fact-checked on the Breakfast Club, but I'm going to find the clip. Kudos to Drew for posting it.
With Kamala Harris, that people have, I'll just say it, people have been lying about. But we're a news show here, so we'll just do the truth of it.
Yeah.
But you could call it, Watergate. You could call it Snoop Dogg Gate.
They've been calling it Reefergate on.
Reefergate. You could call it DJ Envy Gate. If we want to.
It's my fault. Really is Envy fault.
Not my fault. So let me catch everyone up. This is something that, again, there's different conversations going on. This is a big conversation on the internet, I would say, on what's called Black Twitter and in certain communities, but other people may not have caught it yet. You had a long, I would say, policy-oriented exchange with Kamala Harris about all kinds of stuff. Prosecution, racism in the law, marijuana, which has been decriminalized. Yes, sir. Yeah. And Fox News came out and they basically lied about one part of the exchange. What does Kamala Harris listen to?
What were you listening to when you was high? What was on? What song?
Oh my goodness! Oh yeah, definitely Snoop. Tupac for sure.
What do you listen to now? What's your favorite hip hop artist now? What's your favorite artist?
You know who I really love is Cardi B.
That was the appearance on the so-called world's most dangerous morning show, The Breakfast Club.
7 years after she graduated from undergrad, Snoop Dogg's debut album was released, and 5 years after she graduated from undergrad, Tupac's album was released.
So she doesn't remember what she was listening to when she was smoking.
DJ Envy, did Fox News lie on your interview?
Absolutely, positively lied. I mean, we wanted to humanize her, not just talk about politics, talk about what she likes, what she does. And I asked what she listens to. And she said she listens to Snoop Dogg and Tupac. At the same time, my co-host was still talking about the marijuana. And it was just a funny exchange. But she was actually answering me, and people took it that she was answering Charlemagne and said she was lying, which is not true.
Thank you, DJ Envy. Actually, you're one of my favorite DJs. Charlamagne, on the other hand, he alright, but I always like DJ Envy. I always liked him. And I met Angela Yee. She's actually very nice in person, but I always respected DJ Envy because he's real New Yorker, cute, motherfucking weird. But anyway, yeah, Melissa. Know your motherfucking facts. So kudos to Drew for posting that. I'll be ready with the documentation because you gotta have facts when you're talking to stupid motherfuckers. That's what Reese and Kenny. That's what Kenny preached tonight, and that's what Reese says all day, every day, including all other Kamala Harris supporters and all other supporters from other people. You gotta come with the facts, actual cited sources, before you make an assumption of people, right? So that's why these Black Trumpers are nothing but chaos agents trying to suppress the vote, trying to dance and shake their ass for a queen's con artist. And I say from Queens because I lived in New York and I have watched the career, the rise, the fall, the collapse, and the tumble of Donald Trump's bullshit ass career. So there you have it, right? So I know. Anybody know? New Yorkers and Northern New Jerseyans and Southern Connecticut folks. Couldn't find a term to describe Connecticut people. Connecticutans, I don't even know how to say it. But yeah. But to all these black Trumpers, stop fucking reaching. And that includes the little Trumper Don Jr. too, with your nasty looking ass looking like a nasty ass looking ass father. But all these chaos agents, ignore them. Do what you do. Vote early. Vote for Kamala, Joe, and Kamala to make sure they get in that White House, because we're dealing with 5 crises. I always keep saying it every night. We're dealing with a global pandemic that is going to resulting into a financial recession, hopefully not a financial depression. We're resulting, we have climate change, which is pretty much bad. We have racial reckoning, as you witnessed more of it on Wednesday. And now we have a whole entire constitutional crisis with Donald Trump not accepting the result of the elections and nominating a person during the election year when Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell halted President Obama's Supreme Court justice. So this is all the shit that we're dealing with at this point of time. So it's important that we go out, we vote, we speak to people about Kamala and Joe's plan. You can tell them to go on JoeBiden.com, do some research. I have to tell somebody, like, use tweeting and shit, you're suppressing your own vote and you're making yourself look like a dumbass. And if you want to get in my inner circle and talk to me, motherfucker, you need to educate yourself. You like my Instagram TV videos every night when I'm on there, but you damn sure talking this bullshit, you sound stupid. So that's what I'm saying. We got to educate folks. We got to enlighten folks to vote. And watch Tuesday's debate. And just to let you know, I will be doing a live recap of Tuesday's debate. So please watch all the debates so you can get a insight and also do your own research too. So until then, you guys have a lovely night. And I'll see you tomorrow on the Sunday's edition of #Shantae's Analysis.